Okay, so I am currently 20 years old. Now, turning 20 is definitely like by far one of the most interesting experiences I've had in my entire life, right? Because on the night that I turned 20 years old, I literally didn't feel any different from like the months leading up to me turning 20 at 19. And I was honestly just in complete shock that it didn't feel any different, right? Now, I want to say this for anybody that is either about to turn 20, so like you're 19, or you're scared of turning 20 because you're like 18 or 16, maybe you're like younger and you're like, man, when I turn 20, life is going to be so scary. It definitely will be. Okay, I can't lie to you. It's definitely gonna hit. It's gonna hit a lot more than you think it will, but not a lot is going to change. At least from the aspect that like you can't still be somewhat like a kid mentally. Now, when I say that, I don't want you to misconstrue that with like being immature and not, working on yourself in a way that allows you to get to the next level. Because I know everybody doesn't want to be stuck the same old. You want to improve, elevate, all that. But it's very easy to get stuck mentally, especially when you're younger, because you if you don't really take action to improve your life day by day, then you're just going to be like a 20-year-old who's mentally like 16, right? Like you're going to be super young mentally, but you're just going to be older, right? And you don't want to be that. I promise you, you do not want to be that. So, one of the main things I always consider is what were some of the things that I wanted my 18-year-old self to see in the 20-year-old version of me right now, right? You know, when I was 18, I thought 20-year-old me would definitely have a little bit more of a concrete idea of what he wanted to do with his life, which I can't necessarily disagree, or I can't pretend like I don't. I have a decent idea. In terms of how I go about achieving that is really going to depend on how life allows me to, because obviously we all know life is pretty unpredictable. But I finally have a set idea of how I like to go after life. But along with that, I've also understood that being super complacent and not allowing yourself to grow due to you not taking any action is one of the easiest ways to kind of be stuck like younger mentally. So once I realized that, I had to immediately come to the conclusion that if I don't take action towards achieving what I want to achieve or becoming the person I want to become, I'm going to be the same person I was at 15 or 16 or like even 17, but just older, 20, 21, 22. And it's a scary feeling. It's a scary reality to come to because a lot of people, you probably notice it when you're just walking around. A lot of people that are like, they're so much older than you, or they're just older than you, period. But mentally and just how they operate, you feel like you're the same age, or maybe even younger. Maybe they're even younger than you because they haven't really matured, or like the fact that they're whatever age they are right now hasn't really caught up with them. Like some people say like act your age, or you need to be a little bit more, you know, act like an adult, right? And I used to fear that so much, and I guess that fear is finally kind of coming into fruition because I'm realizing how easy it is to not grow up. It's super easy to not grow up, right? I think we live in a generation now where so many people are like, hey man, you don't gotta like, take things a little more serious. Life isn't that serious, this, that, and the third. And to an extent, I kind of see where they're coming from. But at the same time, if you don't take life serious like at all, you're gonna be like, 20 or 20, however old you are right now. But you're just like you're mentally still a child, and having no real maturity about you, it will come back at you full circle. When you're older and you're around people that are obviously a lot more farther than you mentally, and some of them are even younger. I've met people that are like 17, 18 years old, and I'm thinking this dude's like he's got the mentality of somebody who's like 30, like he's so much farther ahead. And I remember at one point thinking I was one of those people. And obviously like the lifestyle I wanted to live and the things I did and some of the actions I took may have been a little bit more interesting from somebody who was like 17 or 18, but it doesn't really hit any different, right? Like when you're 20 years old and you finally decide to say, hey, I finally want to actually start taking my life serious. I want to move to that next level. And the people around you are like, oh, well, he's still acting like a kid. He's still operating like a child. He's still not, making those big moves that I thought he was going to make when he was like 18, or, he's still doing some of the things he did at like 16, or, a little bit younger. It it definitely changes you a lot. So I know I'm kind of like talking crazy. I just wanted to film something today because I haven't made a video in a minute. But if you take away anything from the video that I'm making right now, I want it to be that you can still mentally be a child, but be a grown adult, okay? When I say you can still, I don't mean like in a good way. I mean like you can literally still be a child despite being a grown man who needs to figure things out. Because not only will this world make it seem like you can, but you also will fall into the victims of your comfort, right? Your own areas of like lack of growth, lack of progression. And you'll realize like how fast life can catch up with you. You'll realize how fast life can catch up with you if you don't work continuously with it, right? If you're not working on improving yourself, if you're not trying to expand your understanding of the world and your life as an individual, you will get left behind very easily. I've realized that, and it's one of the craziest things I've had to come to terms with turning 20. And I don't want that for you. So make it your best effort to try to actually make something happen in your life, because I promise you, it will come back at you very, very fast, right? So that's all I wanted to say. The reality of turning 20 is that if you don't work and actually improve yourself, you're going to still be young mentally, and you don't want that, right? You definitely want to be somewhat in the same mental space as your age, because if you don't, you know what I'm saying, you already know. So that's all I wanted to say. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will catch you in the next one.